future. He knows he must be near. He finds a long passageway lit by chandelier. Each step he takes, the perfumes change from familiar fragrance to flavors strange. A magnificent chamber meets his eye.
The last show of the Lamb Tour, and Peter Gabriel's final Genesis gig. On May 22, 1975, Genesis played the final show of their ambitious The Lamb Lies Down on Broadway tour. It would also mark the last time Peter Gabriel performed with the band as lead vocalist. The Lamb Lies Down on Broadway, a bold new chapter. In 1974, Genesis entered the studio to record their most ambitious project yet, The Lamb Lies Down on Broadway. The double concept album told a surreal and complex story by Peter Gabriel, following a Puerto Rican teenager named Rael as he journeys through a strange underworld beneath New York City. The urban American setting was a dramatic shift from the band's earlier tales rooted in British folklore and fantasy. After touring North America, Genesis were aiming to break into the US market. The Lamb was also their first true concept album, after an unsuccessful attempt on their debut, a hallmark of many progressive rock bands at the time. Internally, however, tensions were mounting. Gabriel wrote all the lyrics and developed the story independently, while Tony Banks, Mike Rutherford, and Phil Collins composed most of the music during jam sessions at Headley Grange. Steve Hackett's contributions were minimal, and the creative disconnect between words and music created friction. Only one track, The Light Dies Down on Broadway, had lyrics penned by Banks and Rutherford instead of Gabriel. Behind-the-scenes tensions. Two key factors contributed to Gabriel's growing estrangement from the band. First, he had attracted interest from The Exorcist director William Friedkin, who was keen to collaborate on a film. Gabriel was tempted, even considering leaving the band, but the project never materialized. Second, Gabriel's wife Jill gave birth to their first daughter, Anna, in July 1974. Complications following the birth drew Gabriel further away from the group. He was the first member to start a family, and this life change made him reassess his priorities and see a future beyond the band. His inner conflict bled into the Lamb's narrative, for example in the song In the Cage, where Rael cries, "Get me out of this cage." Upon release, The Lamb Lies Down on Broadway received mixed reviews and was commercially underwhelming. Ticket sales for the tour were below expectations, and several shows were cancelled. Though the album is now revered as a cult classic, its reception at the time was disappointing, particularly for Gabriel, who had poured his heart into the concept. A tour like no other. The band made the bold decision to perform the album in full-on tour, even before many fans had a chance to hear it. Gabriel, already known for his theatrical costumes, pushed the visual spectacle even further, but it came at a cost. His elaborate outfits, including the infamous Slipperman costume, sometimes muffled his vocals or distracted from the music itself. The rest of the band grew frustrated, feeling the show had become more about theatrics than sound. Technical problems were frequent. The stage used projected slides to accompany the story, but they often jammed or displayed out of sequence. In one infamous incident, a Peter Gabriel dummy meant to mirror him on stage was mysteriously swapped for a naked roadie. And during a song that required a small explosion, the production manager accidentally triggered a huge blast so loud that the band stopped mid-song. Peeking through the curtain, the crew member sheepishly said, "Sorry," to which Phil Collins yelled, "You're fired." Gabriel's departure. Midway through the tour, Gabriel made the decision to leave Genesis. Their manager Tony Smith was not surprised, but asked him to finish the remaining dates before making it public. Gabriel's final show with Genesis took place in Saint-Étienne, France, in May 1975. Ironically, it wasn't meant to be the last show, but the scheduled final concert was cancelled at the last minute. And so, without much fanfare, Peter Gabriel's time with Genesis came to an end. He had co-founded the band in 1967 alongside Tony Banks, Mike Rutherford, and Anthony Phillips. His departure, announced later that year, shocked fans and cast doubt over the band's future. Could Genesis survive without their charismatic frontman?